Hey everyone, it's Michael Kikle. I hope you're doing well today, and I'm here to talk about Venom Volume 2, The Abyss, from Donny Cates' run. This has issues 7 through 12 in it, and it is drawn by Iban Coelho for the first couple of issues, Ryan Stegman, Joshua Cassara, I think is how you say the name. But they all kind of divided up 2 issues apiece, and I didn't see any heavy transgressions between issue to issue, so that's kind of a little bit surprising for me with current day Marvel. I think this is a few years old, 4 years old, something like that. Anyway, the Kindle version that I have says that it's 137 pages. Of course, it is the 6 issues, 7 through 12. And I heard after I read the Donny Cates Volume 1 run about a couple of months ago, and I reviewed it for this channel, which I loved quite a bit. I thought it was a great beginning to the run. Probably one of the best Venom runs in ages, man, since Remender did it. I was super excited to see what was going to happen here. And I gotta tell you, Volume 2 is a tad bit disappointing. My biggest reason for wanting to jump into this was, number one, I was sick, as many of you already know from previous reviews I've been uploading. But number two, I found out that the Donny Cates Volume 1 run, and a big main villain there, let's say, is supposed to be a part of Venom 3. And Venom 3 looks like shit, so I'm a little surprised by that. But I got so excited about it that he was going to be in a movie that I really, really, really wanted to just read more Venom stuff. So I did. And I've read the majority of Venom runs over the years, especially on my Kindle and on my Nook. And I broke out Volume 2 on my Kindle and decided to read it. Apparently, I own quite a few of the books from the series on my Kindle and didn't even realize it, so I read Volume 2 and what is lied about on my Kindle and Amazon as Volume 3, but it was really a War of the Realms tie-in. But that's a story for the next review. Let's talk about Volume 2 for now. Now, at the end of Venom Volume 1, apparently Venom, the actual symbiote, is still alive. It's on Eddie, but it's more reactive, as like kind of like some kind of science thing, but it's not connected to Wi-Fi, to symbiote Wi-Fi, essentially, because of what happened with Null and the dragon at the end of Volume 1. Now, as action-packed and cool as that volume was, I thought the symbiotes having to connect to a host was a little iffy. I didn't know what you could do with that. This volume tries to say, okay, well now the symbiote is basically brain dead, let's say. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, sometimes it can still work. Like if Eddie is being threatened, like a knife is thrown at him or something, it'll catch it and it'll stop it. But this is the thing. I'm really bothered with this shit. I'm really kind of pissed off about what they did here. As I mentioned a moment ago, my probably favorite run of Venom is Remender. I think Remender's run with Flash Thompson Venom, Venom Agent, Agent Venom, whatever you want to call him, probably my favorite Venom of all time. I love him. I even have figures of this guy. In this book, when we open up, basically Eddie Brock is being held captive, sorta, kinda, but definitely sorta, by a Reed Richards, some type of Reed Richards. I don't really understand what this is, who this is. I don't think I've ever read of this character, ever heard the name, but it's an evil-ish looking Reed Richards called the Maker. And I swear that name sounds familiar, but I just don't know where I would have heard about it unless it was like on a YouTube video, somebody just offshoot mentioned something about the Maker. Anyway, this is like a seemingly evil Reed Richards, but he's not really. He's kind of trying to help Eddie, but he is holding him captive. And he talks about how Eddie's basically been unconscious for like a month and been in captivity there. And he's trying to study the symbiote that's still on Eddie, but is, like I said, basically brain dead now that it's not connected to Wi-Fi now. And he's running his experiments. He's talking to Eddie now that Eddie's out of a coma or whatever he was. And he's finding out more about Eddie and the symbiote. This is the thing, though. I really liked all of this stuff. I actually thought it was really good, despite my jokes about Wi-Fi. And I thought it was kind of cool what we were doing here. I didn't really understand who the Maker was or what was up with him. He's still super smart. He can invent all of these things. I thought all of that was kind of cool. And him being a Reed Richards with a really weird, evil-looking helmet, very bizarre. Very bizarre shit that I didn't think I was going to see in this book. I never would have guessed it in a million years. But then we go down this whole tunnel about Eddie Brock's childhood, his issues with his dad, and right before we do that, the maker mentions that Flash Thompson died off fucking screen. Yeah. So Eddie and Flash have a connection because they've had the same symbiote. And yeah, it's confirmed in here. We get to see the real gravesite and everything, that apparently Flash Thompson died off screen. Now, I don't know if this is in one of the many other comics out there or what. I know he was anti-Venom for a little while there. I don't know if that's what killed him. I don't know. But I'm a little pissed off about that, to be honest with you, because I love Flash Thompson. Apparently he died sometime when Eddie was out in a coma. And I'm a little mad about it. I mean, everybody comes back in comics, so nothing is permanent in American comics. You could say that. But I'm still mad, because he was badass and he was awesome. And I like him more than Eddie. But the book tries to do a lot of the same things that Remender did with Flash Thompson. About Eddie Brock's past, his issues with his dad. Apparently Eddie had some trouble in the past, and I thought that the things we went into with that were really emotionally investing. However, when Eddie goes back to visit his dad after all this time, who he doesn't have a good relationship with, a lot of the grief and loss over Eddie's mom and sister back in the day caused a lot of waves between he and his dad, made them move further apart over the years. I thought it was gonna be kind of interesting at first when we found out that Eddie had a younger brother who was like a kid, like a really young kid. But then I began to think, the math doesn't make sense. This guy is old as fuck. How did he have another kid? And then it's revealed Eddie Brock has a child. And I was like, God damn it. That means that now we're going to have a fucking kid in the symbiote costume. Can I just tell you, I love Cletus Cassidy, Eddie Brock, and Flash Thompson, and obviously Peter Parker in the costume. I like other offshoots, like Shriek, for example. I'm a big fan of the symbiote stuff. But when you get to the stuff like that one Colin Bunn run of Venom with Flash Thompson, where you had like the chick with the stupid ass haircut, and then the Venom symbiote would get on her. She looked like a small female cosplay version of the Peter Parker Spider-Man, but with the stupid fucking goofy looking haircut built into the costume. I hated that shit. I hate when we keep doing that. Make the character matter, then do that, right? I don't like when just everybody gets symbiote costumes. The kid does not in here, but when it's revealed that he's Eddie Brock's kid, I knew from the goddamn get-go that he was going to be on covers and books and everything, probably fighting beside Venom, if not having a suit. And wouldn't you know, after reading this book, it was recommended to be on my Kindle, some kind of book cover tying into some Venom event thing that had the fucking kid on the cover. No costume, but wearing like a Venom shirt. So it wouldn't surprise me if he has like a Venom suit of some sort, some kind of mild symbiote that won't hurt him, despite all the warning signs we've seen from Flash and Cletus and Shriek and Eddie himself. Just a terrible idea, you know? And I love Donny Cates' run so far. Maybe he's going to do something cool with it. But then when I read that Volume 3, or Faux Volume 3, the War of the Realms thing I talked about a moment ago, when I read Volume 3, it basically had the issue that I was concerned with about now we have this fucking kid in the mix of all of this end-of-the-world apocalypse shit. And he got in the way. He got in the way of the story. He got in the way of Eddie. He gives Eddie some kind of motivation to do what he does. But I don't like that motivation for Eddie. I don't think it helps anything. I don't think it works for me. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the kid thing. I don't like when we just have people, even a downbeat loser like Eddie Brock, having a surprise kid. I don't like when you try to do it with Spider-Man sometimes, when it's hinted at that. I don't like heroes in general, even though Venom's more of an anti-hero. Eddie Brock is not really a good guy. I don't like when we do that with characters, because to me immediately, in the day and age we live in, there's too many deadbeat dads. And in this case, they try to make it out like, oh, well, it's unintentional. He didn't know. Yeah, but it's in the way of the story. I just want pulpy action, good character that we've all known since the 90s, doing his thing. That's all I want. That's all I expect. Donny Cates tried to give us a little bit more because Venom has made that mistake of spinning its wheels over and over again for ages. And very few people outside of Remender and Cates have tried to do something new. So I'm trying to give Donny Cates the benefit of the doubt and stick with it. The art for all of the issues were amazing. I overall loved the book. I really did. I just think the kid thing is going to be my biggest hang-up with the whole run. I just feel that coming. So by the end of me reviewing the Donny Cates run, we'll get to that point and I'll talk about it. I'm not a fan of the kid being in the way. I'm just not. It's probably going to ruin the book. It's probably going to ruin the experience in general. But outside of that, I really like the book. I like this character, the Maker. I thought he was super interesting. I love what happens with Eddie. I like his story. I like his confrontation with his dad and how he has to address a lot of the problems they've had over the years. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with this book overall. But I'm not going to hold my breath because the kid being in the mixture now, and then what I read in the More of the Realms Venom thing, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's looking pretty rough. So maybe I'll be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, as I've had friends tell me that the Donny Cates run is their personal favorite Venom run, which is a big-ass surprise for me. Anyway, Venom Volume 2, The Abyss. Have you read it? What do you think about it? Let me know what you think down below. Am I right? Am I wrong about the kid? Do you like that? Do you hate that? What do you think about all the stuff with the Maker? I'd love to hear all that down below, too. Great run so far, aside from the kid. I would love to hear what you guys think in total about the Donny Cates run. Just don't spoil anything for me. Anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Catch you later, and goodbye.